Good morning, ladies, and welcome back to another Simple Saturday. Today we're going to be using the Hello Ladybug stamp set, and we're going to be following a recipe for cards that actually Stampin' Up! Gives us, so we can create nice, simple cards. I always find it difficult, so the recipe they gave us, I added a few extra layers to still keep it simple, but just to add a little bit more to the front of the card. I will be posting tomorrow the same exact cards, but I'm going to step them up for Stepped Up Sunday. Now, the colors we're using today are out of the ordinary. We're using the Old Olive Stamp Pad, Pale Papaya, Blushing Bride, Polished Pink, and Soft Succulent. And then with the cardstock, we're using Soft Succulent cardstock and Blushing Bride. Now, before we get started, this bundle has a stamp. And I know it can get wasteful when it comes to stamping and punching. So what I did was I took the backing to our design. Hi, Ruth. How are you, honey? Oh, beautiful sunny day in Michigan, huh? We have a little bit of clouds today. Let me just let my cat out. It's a little cloudy and it was rainy a bit this morning, which is fine. But it is beautiful out. There's a nice breeze. Good morning. Okay, so like I said, with a punch, sometimes we can waste cardstock after stamping our image. So what I did was I took the backing to our designer series paper because it's a little heavier than the cardstock, and I punched it. Okay, so this way both the wings and the ladybug are on this piece of paper. Then what I did is I took this, and you'll notice I did mark top. So this way I know that it goes in the punch this way, so it gets lined up properly. And then I laid this down on my Stamparatus, put my stamps in the blank space, the body on one, the wings on the other. So when I put my cardstock down and I stamp the body and then I stamp the wings, I can take this paper and insert it into the punch and it will punch properly. Okay, so hopefully I actually did not experiment with it, so let's hope that's exactly how it works. Sunny and 74 in Iowa. I'm just looking. It's still 66 here. So it's still on the cooler side, but that's okay. I got a lot done yesterday. I ended up getting my air conditioners in the window, which is awesome. And they're on now because it's been pretty warm in here. We had taken down a big giant tree right next to the house, and that was our shade cover. And now that we don't have shade cover, the house gets really, really hot. Okay, so while I have this out, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out the Polished Pink and the Blushing Bride, and we're going to stamp this so I can get the Stamparatus off my desk. So we're going to grab our Polished Pink, and I'm a little off the screen here, but here's my ladybug body. So I am going to ink the body up in some Polished Pink and give it a stamp. Now, what's great about these solid stamps and our Stamparatus, if it doesn't stamp properly, we can always stamp it again. But that looks pretty good. And then with our wings, we're going to do them in Blushing Bride. So let's get these stamped. And I'm going to have to do that one again. It missed. You know, it's funny. The Blushing Bride, it's pretty, but I just don't like it when it's first stamped. Okay, there we go. So we have our first little ladybug stamped. Let's just put that aside for now and pull out our punch, and you'll see that if we get this in here and line it up, just want to make sure I have it just right. Oops. And punch our little ladybug, and the wings are perfect. Now, I am just, this Blushing Bride, for some reason, I don't like that color. I should have stamped off, but that's okay. So let's pull in our card base, and we're using Soft Succulent, and it's 8.5 by 5.5, and of course it's scored at 4 1/4. Our basic card base. Now for the Stampin' Up recipe, they wanted just another soft succulent base that we are going to stamp on, but I'm going to layer it with a layer of Blushing Bride just to give it a little bit of character. And I just want to make sure this is the right size, and it is. So we're going to take our one layer here and my ruler. Let's see. This measures 3.5 by 5. And I'm going to grab a piece of scrap paper, and we're going to grab the bunch of 3 flowers, and we are going to randomly stamp these in Soft Succulent on our Soft Succulent base. So we're just going to randomly stamp them. Okay. And then we can take this layer, and right away we can add it to our Blushing Bride. I don't know why I get so nervous about stamping and creating a simple card. It's just so crazy. Hi, Julie. How are you, honey? California, how's the weather? You're not anywhere near those wildfires, are you? And then we're going to take this layer, and we are going to just adhere it to the front of this card. Now I naturally forgot to put the cap on my glue. So we're just going to lay this centered on the front of the card, and it is not centered. So let me just look at this. How crazy is that? See, I told you I get myself worked up when I'm making a simple card. Okay, so there we go. Then we have again, they wanted just this one put on the front of the card, and I layered it with another layer. And I don't consider this stamped up. I'll stamp it up for Sunday, but the basic white is 2 by 3, and then the Blushing Bride is 3 1/8 by 2 1/8. So we're going to layer these two layers together. And I'm going to use the seal on the basic white so it doesn't show through. Okay, so here's Blushing Bride, and here is the Blushing Bride stamp. Doesn't look even close, does it? And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to pop this up onto the front of the card. And I'm going to put it, should I center it? I'm going to put it, I'll center it. So let's pop this up. Oh, 12 miles. That's a little close for comfort. Hi, Margene. How are you, honey? Okay, so I'm going to just center this on the front of the card. Just like that. Then we're going to take our cute little ladybug, and we are also going to pop the ladybug up onto this basic white. I'll use 2 little dimensionals. And we're just going to turn her to the side. And then we'll glue her wings onto her back. And these go up towards her head. Now I had some of the loose flower flourishes. So we'll just add these to the front of the card. We'll use a few different colors. We'll do the pale papaya. Definitely have to use one of the pink. And then we'll use one of the little purple ones over here. And then one more, we'll do it in the petal pink. Pale papaya. Okay, so now we're going to grab this little label punch, and we are going to punch it with "May Your Greatest Wish Come True." And we're actually going to do it in Memento. So let's just stand up and get that stamped. Oh, the W didn't come out. Let's see if I can line this up. I don't think I'll be able to. Nope. I guess I'll turn it over, ladies. There we go. And this we're just going to add down here to the corner, and where the Blushing Bride and the basic white are popped up, we're going to grab a little dimensional, and we're going to put it down here on this bottom right hand corner. And then we're going to add glue on this corner because we want it to be level with this layer. And we're going to just make sure this is straight. And then we have a quick and simple front of our card. Now for the inside, of course, I layered it with some soft succulent. I'm actually going to grab this little flower stamp and the soft succulent, and I'll just add these flowers to this bottom corner and then the opposite corner. Oops, did it again. There we go. Grab my seal. I think I've said it before. I think I've been heavy-handed with my glue lately because I've noticed it's showing through on my basic white layers. So I decided to start using that seal for my basic white layer and then glue for the colored cardstock. Okay, and then we'll just add this to the inside of the card. And we have a nice, quick and easy, out of the ordinary colors for the ladybug. Hi, Dawn. How are you, honey? Yeah, really cute and simple, right? Sometimes we need some cute and simple. Okay, so now for the other card, I'm using a Blushing Bride background, the card's base, I'm sorry. And it's the 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4, but this time we're going to use it landscape instead of portrait. And the little flowers escaped. Okay, and again, for Stampin' Up, they wanted, or they suggested just using the basic layer with a layer of white on top. And I actually created a mat for the basic white layer. And I left the front of this plain, okay? So we're going to take this layer, and I cut the Blushing Bride at 3 1/8 by 4 1/8, and then this is 3 by 4. Now we're going to stamp this piece, and I'm going to do it in polished pink instead of the Blushing Bride because I'm not really too crazy about the color of that Blushing Bride. And we're going to grab the large flower this time, and I've actually never used this flower. So from Alt New, I have this eraser when you have new stamps, and you actually just go over the whole stamp, and it makes it easier to get a nice clean image. And I'm going to actually grab my silicone mat here. Let me just see. All right, so let's ink this up really good. And we're just going to put these flowers on this layer randomly. Make sure it's inked up really good. We want to just put a layer of flowers Now this one will put a whole flower. Oh, let me get that corner right there. And we'll pull some petals there. And I'll just put a petal right there at the end. So we have a nice bright background with polished pink. Now we're going to have to pull our Stamparatus back in. And if you joined us late, I took my punch and I grabbed a piece of the backing paper for our designer series paper, and I punched, and then I laid it on my Stamparatus. I'm going to just turn this, and then put my stamps. Where is that piece? Here it is. So I laid this down and laid the stamp down right inside of the opening. And it's thick enough where you can feel if that stamp is fitting. And I did that on one. And then I put the wings on the other side, so I could stamp them and not worry about placement. So now I am going to stamp. Just want to make sure that this is in the right place. Let's move it up this way a little bit. Okay. So now for this ladybug, just going to clean it off because we used the pinks. We're going to grab some pale papaya, and we're going to ink up the body with pale papaya and stamp. Okay. And then we're going to grab our old olive and ink up the wings. Yes, I love simple sometimes too, but I have to say, I get so upset making simple cards. How crazy is that? Okay, so we have our first little ladybug. Now we're going to grab another piece of cardstock. See how nice this is? We can do it. I just want to make sure that's in the right place. Let me just grab. Now I'm going to ink up the body, and I know it's off the screen, sorry, in Soft Succulent. Make sure that stamps well. So let's ink and stamp. Okay, that looks good. And then the wings, again, we're going to do them in the old olive. And we'll ink up those wings and stamp. Oh no, don't want those stuck together. All right, so now there are our ladybugs all ready. We can pull out our punch and again line this up and get it lined up as best you can, because even with it using the template, you still have to make sure you line up where you stamped. All right, this piece of paper is just a little bit long, so I'm just going to trim it down. And then it'll fit in. Line up the wings and the ladybug body and punch. And then we have their wings and their bodies. So sweet and simple. Okay, so now we're going to grab our card base in again, and we are actually going to leave the front of this card plain, and we're going to grab this, and we're going to adhere this together. So we're just going to center this on here. And then we can grab our little ladybugs. And add some dimensionals. Just popping up images on the oh, before I do that, let me just grab my pale papaya and the center to the flower. Let me just clean it though. Okay. And we're just going to stamp the center of these flowers that we can see. All right. Okay, so now we're going to grab this one little ladybug and let's stick it right about there. And then the second ladybug, we'll pop this one up too. And on this one, I'm going to let it go over the edge a little bit. And we'll have it facing the opposite direction. And then we can glue it on our wings. Now see this little ladybug, I cut it. It didn't punch properly. Okay, so now that this is done, where I mis-stamped right here, I'm going to put a little dot of glue there. And let's put a little dot of glue here. I'm going to grab my little tool and let's add some of these little flowers. I don't want to add a pink one there. Let's grab a little pale papaya and add it there. And we'll add a little purple one right there to hide that mis-stamp. And then we'll pull in our card base and very carefully turn it over. We'll add some dimensionals. Whoops. I'm going to center this on the front of the card. Going to grab another piece of Blushing Bride and using the polished pink, I'm going to stamp You Can Bug Me Anytime. I'm going to stamp it down towards the bottom. Now I could cut this out. I'm actually going to use this classic label punch and I probably will not be able to hold on to it. So what I'm going to do is just add a little bit of seal and extend it. This way I can feed it down there, get it lined up, and cut that out. We're going to overlap it here onto this little ladybug. So what that means is the right hand side of this is going to need a dimensional. So let's pull a little dimensional. Make sure I'm on the right side. And then I'm just going to add a bit of glue to the other side. And that'll make my label level with my ladybug. So let's put this right about there. We want to make sure that it's on here even. Okay. And there is the front of our card. Just checking to see it's just a little off. Okay. So there's the front of our card. We can do the inside of the card. I'm going to just grab what did I do with it? I just love how things disappear right in front of my face. It's crazy. Here it is. All right, I'm going to grab my silicone mat again. And here's a 5 1/4 by 4 piece of basic white. And I'm just going to pull these flowers in from the front. You could do another ladybug if you wanted. But I'm going to pull in the flowers from the front of the card. And I'm going to just do half. And then I'll hit the corner. Let's just move that over and we'll hit this corner. Pull out the pale papaya. I was going to say, what do you think I just lost? And stamp the inside of the flowers. Get that out of the way. And lay this down on our base, on our mat layer. Then it's ready for the inside of the card. Okay, so there we go. 2 simple and out of the ordinary color cards. Thanks, Dawn. And just very simple. Yes, it does make the cutest cards. It really does. So tomorrow I'm going to take these exact same 2 cards and I'm just going to step it up. So they'll be the same design, just stepped up a little bit. And it won't be a video. It's just going to be a post. So ladies, thank you for joining me today. Hey, Lucy, how are you, honey? Thank you. Number 2 is your favorite. Yeah, that is. It's cute. I'm going to love stepping them up. So have a great day, ladies, and enjoy the beautiful weather if that's what you have out there. And I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.